Welcome to Beyond Just Money by kalkinemedia, an independent global media house and investor relations group. Please note that this podcast is for information purposes only. It is not a solicitation or recommendation to buy, sell, or hold the stocks of any company or engage in any investment activity under discussion. Kalkinemedia is neither licensed nor qualified to provide investment advice through this platform. So, without any further ado, today we will be discussing about the red-hot housing market of Australia with the head of content of kalkinemedia, Nidhi Sinha. Welcome, Nidhi. It's lovely to have you back again.
Thank you, Samta, for such a warm welcome. The Australian real estate market is indeed red hot, and the COVID-19 property boom has continued. So, it is really interesting to talk about this topic today.
Absolutely. And in fact, the housing prices in Australia were up more than 2% in May and more than 10% since the pandemic hit. What is leading this boom?
Well, a 2.2% rise in prices in May marked a re-acceleration in the rate of property price growth in Australia. The growth was basically led by the capital cities as they outpaced the regional markets. The capital city index at a combined level grew by 2.3% during the month, which is May, compared with a 2% rise across the combined regional areas. In fact, if you look closely, the 2.2% rise is 40 basis points higher than the growth that was clocked in April. In April, the national home price index had risen by 1.8%, which came after the 32-year high growth recorded in the previous month of March.
Which are the areas that you see are leading this rise, Nidhi?
Well, Sydney continued to drive the national average price growth with a 3% increase last month and 9.3% surge over the past 3 months. Hobart, on the other hand, had an even steeper price increase last month at 3.2%, with two other smallest capitals leading growth over the past year, namely Darwin and Canberra. Regional areas posted slower price increases than the capitals, but their prices increased more over the past year. Across the non-capital city regions, regional New South Wales led monthly gains by about 2.5%, while values in regional Western Australia saw house prices correcting by about 10 basis points. So those are the areas, in short, which are really leading the rise, Samta.
That's right. But do you think that the heated market will settle next year?
If you go by the expert comments, CoreLogic's head of Australian research, Eliza Owen, said 97% of local government areas around the nation had seen prices rise over the past 3 months. One reason why housing values are rising so quickly is the lack of properties for sale relative to the number of buyers that are there in the market. Owen said there were fewer properties being put up for sale over the past 3 months than there were purchases taking place. CoreLogic basically estimates that there were about 160,000 sales that took place across the country. But at the same time, there would have been at most about 120,000 new listings in the market. Analysis from Capital Economics suggests that the gap between sales and new listings has peaked, and the market will return to a better balance between buyers and sellers over the coming months. UBS economist George Tharanu expects the boom to last several more months until the regulators come in to intervene.
Well, it seems that there is a lot to watch out for in the Australian real estate market, Nidhi.
Thanks, Samta, and we'll keep watching this market as it goes.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. And to our listeners who want to listen to this podcast again, please log on to our website, that is kalkinemedia.com, or you could also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our listeners are also requested to make their own inquiries about any investments, and kalkinemedia strongly suggests that the listeners seek advice from a financial advisor, stockbroker, or other professional as necessary. kalkinemedia hereby disclaims any and all the liabilities to any listener arising from any use of the information shared discussed in this podcast. This podcast is available for personal and non-commercial use only. And on that note, we'll see you soon with yet another insightful and interesting episode of Beyond Just Money. Stay tuned and stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine.